Hi guys, so today we are going out on a shoot. I'm taking Max out, he's going to be my subject. All I'm taking, real basic, I'm taking my R6, which is what I'm videoing right now. I'm taking my tripod, which is what the camera is on right now. And I am taking this. This is my 100 macro 2.8 lens, but today we are going to check it out on portraits. I'm going to shoot Max in the forest. Come along, I always like going out on these little location videos, so let's go and see what shots we can get with a 2.8 100mm RF macro. Let's go. Yeah, it's not too hot.
No.
Right, let's find a good spot. So we are here in the forest. I have my subject.
Hello.
Max, who I've managed to bribe. What did we say, £2.80, didn't we?
No. I'll get £15 if I do well for 2 hours, plus £3 bonus.
£15 is 10 things I have to do. Right, so we're going to take a couple of photos here. Let's try and find somewhere cool to stand. Just take a couple of steps forward that way. Oh, let's have your water bottle, darling. Okay, let me just explain. So we've got the 100mm macro here that we're using for portraits. We're going to see what it's like. So let's take a couple of test shots to start with. It's a good start though, stay there a sec. So here we have image number 1, and it is an average start. Nothing jumps out at me saying it's great, but there is nothing I really hate. And I guess if I had to pick something, it would be the bright sky either side and around the top of Max's head. And bear with me, because a bit later on I do start sharing my thoughts on the setup and why I like or don't like a certain image as I go, so the commentary does get a bit more useful. This is my first time after all. Just stand over by the tree, lean on the tree for me. So look this way. So I don't like that because you get half of your face is in the sun, which isn't ideal. So we're going to see if we can find somewhere with a little bit more shade. And this is one I do not like, and if you listen carefully, I mentioned it in the video, if you can excuse the bad audio. Yes, the bright light on the side of his face. I could have moved him, but I think he was just in the wrong position, so we moved on to the next spot. That's nice because the path just edges off behind you, and it gives a bit of depth to the photo, which is really nice. So I'm just going to check the focus. So we're shooting on AV mode to keep the 2.8, which is what I want, the depth of field. Give me a nice smile now, Max. I'm just going to go back a little bit so I can get you all in.
I can't stay in this position forever.
You don't have to. You can move now. Thanks, buddy.
Oh, bit hurt.
And this is my favourite so far. Definitely half decent lighting, perhaps with the exception of the highlight on the left side of his face. Nice separation from the background and an actual smile. This is definitely my favourite so far. Right, so let me just tilt this back. So you can't quite see it at the moment, but I've got Max sitting up there on a log. You won't be able to see it on this camera. I'm having to use my GoPro because I'm shooting on another camera, but I've just got him sitting on the log, and I'm going to stay down here low, so he's slightly above me, and we'll see what kind of image we get, and I'll stick it on the screen. I'm going to try and shoot through these bushes without putting my knee in dog poo, which seems to be everywhere. That's it, let's move on. And another half decent one, although the trunk on the left is a little bit distracting, and if I crop this out he becomes too full in the frame for me, as I do like the ones where you can see more of the environment he's in. But we're learning, so let's move on. Right, next one we found is, you won't be able to see it on this camera, but I'll put another clip in here from another camera, that Max is up there. He's standing on sort of the slight brow of the path. Are you conscious? How people are going to come by as I'm doing this? On the brow of the path, and it looks like the path, although it doesn't, it looks like the path really stoops away from him, the other side of where he's standing. So I'm just going to get a shot from here very quickly before dog walkers come. Stay there, darling. Okay, so I'm going to take it a bit further and get one a little bit closer, because I think I might be slightly too far away. Okay, thank you. Yep, that's good. Right, moving on. Not the worst, not the best. Nothing I love, nothing I hate. Let's move on. Okay. Okay, it's another one. First one didn't come out very well, but the second one is alright. So Max picked this location, and while there is nothing of interest around him, I quite like the way the black and white works. But again, it's not one that I would rate that highly. Okay. So the challenge we have today is there's a lot of people around, and I hate videoing when there's people around. I feel really awkward. Just had a problem with my mic, but hopefully you can hear me okay. And the second thing is it's sunny, fingers crossed. Third thing is it's sunny. So we're getting all the sun coming through the trees just in patches. And we're having to pick out the shady areas, but there's plenty of them. But whether or not they're in the right place for a good photo is a different story. Right, so we're just trying to set Max up here, but we're trying to get him in the shade again, because again we've got the light coming through either side. He's got some shadow from the tree trunk, so hopefully this will do it. A little bit bright. I'm just going to turn the exposure down a tiny bit. Can you just turn your head and look this way? That's it. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, I quite like that one. It's probably one of my favourite. What do you think, Max?
Yeah, that's really good.
Do you like the one looking at or looking away?
Looking away.
Yeah, I like it as well. Right, let's keep wandering. Now this is one I do like. I like the way the path drops down. I picked this particular spot because of that, and I also like the way we can see the path wind off into the distance. We were dealing in inches here, as you can see from his back foot is in the sun, but his body isn't, and that is thanks to the strategic placing in the shadow of the tree that is out of shot to his left. Right, next one. Just found this rotten old log that Max is sitting on, just there. I'm sure he's going to wave at you in a minute. And I'm lower than him, so he's going to be looking down on me, which could be quite nice. And I'm going to put the camera even lower. He's going to put his hands together for me again. So this looks really good. You're going to give me a little smile. Not too much. Look to your left a tiny bit, not too much. With your whole head. Turn your head a tiny bit more, and then a bit more. That's it. Just got to go back a tiny bit because this 100mm doesn't zoom, obviously, and I need to try and avoid kneeling in poo. Shooting through the legs of a tripod. Chin up a tiny bit. Okay. Stay there because I'm just noticed something that I could get you better framed in the trees. So I've just noticed that Max, you've got these two, see if I can point them here, you won't be able to see it here, but there's two trees behind him and I want to get him centering it, which I didn't in the first shot. So I've just moved a tiny bit. That looks a bit better. It's a very small adjustment, but it has made the difference. Look over to your left again, Max. Just wait for the people to pass. Cool. Thank you, buddy. Right.
Hope there's no splinters in your bum.
Stick a couple of those. Hopefully there aren't any splinters in your bum. I'm going to stick a couple of those photos on the screen now, and we'll move on to another spot. So here they are, looking at 8A and 8B. As I said in the video, his head isn't central to the trees behind, and I think that would have bugged me had I not reshot it, which I did. And here, the third one is 8C. Now I do prefer the angle and the positioning of the third one, but another slight adjustment would have perhaps corrected the right elbow impeding the trunk on the same side there, or perhaps I'm being too picky. Right, so we found some undergrowth, a few more bushes that have got Max standing in. He's doing a little pose for me now. He's got his position, he's not going to move. He's a professional, and I just want to try and get him through. Going to try and get him through through the bushes. Okay, that's cool. I like that one. It's another good one, Max.
I didn't know I was a professional.
We're nailing it now. So yeah, so I like that one as well. The colours are richer. There's more green in it, and I think when it's edited, it's going to look really, really nice.
That's it. That's my favourite.
Is that your favourite?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, this is definitely my favourite so far. The colours, the tone and the location. It feels like we could be in another place and not in a forest in England. I like the way there are a few branches encroaching on his jumper, but they're not providing too much of a distraction. I also like the way his head is just about framed by the darker background, so it's not too busy behind his face. Yep, this is definitely my favourite so far.
Right.
Which one is your favourite?
I'll put numbers on them and you can tell us at the end, number 1, 2, whatever. Tell us that's a good idea. Tell us what your favourite is. Right. So we're going to head through here and turn left and see what's down this path that way. We're looking for something now a little bit more interesting, just straight trees, I think, like we've just found. So let's keep wandering. A couple of things on the lens. Obviously you zoom in with your feet. Let me see if I can lower this so I can talk to you. So obviously you're zooming with your feet on this one because it's fixed 100mm. So that's something to bear in mind. I've got the 70 to 200 as well, which is obviously the 2.8 as well, which is the zoom. But this is a prime lens, so I'm hoping that we're going to see a difference between this. It's obviously, if you're in these close quarters with trees and bushes and that, you have to be careful where you stand and where you shoot, but get your ankles around the thorns if you have to. But it's worth it if you can get the right position and the right angle, which hopefully we are doing. So we're heading this way now and we're going to see if we can find any other interesting spots. Okay, hope you can still hear me. So we've got Max now sitting on this brick. We don't know what's here before. There's obviously some kind of, don't know what was here, but there's some row of bricks here. He's got his feet in a little hole. Nothing behind him at all apart from the road, but I'm going to get down low so that we can't see the road. It's just going to be off to the distance. I'm going to try a couple. One from this angle. He's in the shade, so that's good. There's don't have to worry about the light. We've got the tree here. Exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm going to get down low with nothing behind him for a quarter of a mile, I guess. Don't know how far away those trees are. Definitely 400 or 500 yards. And then, I'm sure you can see me actually, because I'm still too tall. And then one from the front of him with the tree behind him. So we're going to do this one first. Blank out the road, but I want to keep his head. Yeah, you're going to look at me, but I'm just doing a quick video on here. You can see if I'm at this level, half his head is in the sky, half his head is on the trees, which we've got that tree line going through his ears. So I probably need to get a little bit higher, a little bit lower, probably a little bit higher. I think we're going to go this high. Actually, I'm going to do both and we'll see which ones we like.
So here is the first one with his head just above the tree line. The line of bricks here draws the eye into the subject, which then transfers to the diagonals on his leg and arm, leading to his face. When reviewing these, I do like the one with his head above the tree line, as in this one the background was a distraction, but perhaps the image is saved when converted to black and white.
Okay, and we're just going to move off to the side here now and get one with the tree, but again there's a gap in the tree and I just need to be careful where I put his head. So I'm going to frame his head. That's a nice smile, Max. Yeah, leave it like that. Frame his head on the trunk behind him because I don't want the split of the trunk. I'll show you on this camera. You can see here, that is with his head nicely framed in the trunk. If I go a little bit this way, I just think the white gap in the tree behind him distracts from his face. So we're going to take one from about that angle and it will be a lot more evenly balanced. But I want to try and get Max slightly off centre. So there, that's the one. Yeah, cool, nice one. Thanks, buddy. It's not one of the best ones, but it's still... No.
Could I see the first one that you took, please? Could you see how one of my feet is in front of one's behind?
I can't see that, no. Did you do that on purpose?
No.
That's okay then.
Then I'm adjusting my feet.
That's okay, because they're in the hole. It doesn't. It's natural. It's better if that was your natural position, then that's fine.
They're like that.
Sometimes if you try and put someone in an unnatural position, all of a sudden they sort of get stiff and.
They were like. This to start.
That's okay. Like I say, were they both comfortable? Yeah, that's okay. It's important that you're comfortable because then you relax more and the photos look better. Right.
And you can see on this one where Max's head is framed by the tree trunk. The gap in the trees is perhaps still a small distraction, but not as much as if it had been directly behind his head.
Okay, so I have Max sitting. Don't know, can you see him from there? I'm not even sure you can see him from there. You can, let's move this a little. I've just got the tripod level, but let's move it a bit. So you can see Max just there. And I'm going to try and shoot through, get these two trees in. And then we've got a third tree here and this first log in front of him. So that's all going to form part of the foreground. But obviously Max is going to be ping sharp in the background. He's going to just put one elbow on his left knee and just let his right hand drop. No. So it's still on there, just like that. Actually, bring your left hand up to your face a little bit. Yeah, that's okay. I don't like it. I'm going to take it. But I don't like it. I don't like the light on all the branches. I don't like how shiny it is. I should have bought a polarizer, but I didn't. Who needs a polarizer when they're doing portraits? But there are too many highlights and shadows and too much contrast in all the leaves around him. I am going to put this one on the screen, but thank you, darling. Let's go. Even with the naked eye, you can see like this holly. Can you see how?
Naked eye?
I.e. not through the camera. Can you see how there's just, it's high contrast, which means there's lots of brights and lots of darks. The light on the top of the trees.
No, I don't like that.
No, I mean you look, if I was to crop out a lot of it, you look good, but it's just too distracting here. There's just too much contrast. It's too busy all around you. So we will put it on the screen for people to see. And that is how not to take a photograph.
So I think I said it all in the video clip there, and here is the evidence. Just not a great photo, but you learn by doing and by making mistakes, which is what I've just done.
Okay, so we're here. We're walking back towards the car now. Hopefully you can still hear me. Got Max in between these two trunks. I'm lower than him, and what he's just said is quite right, in as much as the sun might ruin this photo. But we are getting serious. We're turning the head backwards, turning the hat backwards. So yeah, they're not that bad. They're all right. It's not one of the better ones. Composition wise, the lighting, I can do something with the lighting, but from a composition point of view, it's not great. I was trying to get the sort of Z, legs up and then arm across and stuff, but I just think it's a bit wonky and there's probably a bit. So I'll crop it a bit, mess around with it in post production, but yeah, not sure if that's going to be a keeper. But I think, unless I change my mind when I see them in the computer, all the bad ones I'm going to put on the screen and tell you what I don't like about them. And I'm going to put the ones on the screen that I do like and tell you what I do like about them. Right. Let's go and find the other ant's nest for Max to lean on.
Well, the sun didn't ruin it as much as I thought it might, and perhaps I could have got a better composition if I'd have taken a bit more time, but I didn't, and that's the way it goes sometimes. It's certainly not the worst of the day, but it is by no means the best either.
Here we are again. So we found this really long log here. I've got Max balanced on it. The background is dense, so there's no sun coming through the background. Just got to get him. You'll be fine. You can balance in the right part of the log. Now I think I'm going to move you to the left. So walk. I'll tell you when to stop. See that next big one? Put one leg either side of it. Okay. So let me just turn this camera around. So I'm trying to get the background even and the log even that he's on. And he's in a pretty good place, but these are in the wrong place. I don't know if you can see me. Hang on a second, buddy. I have no idea if I've made that better or worse. If I'm wonky, I apologise. So yeah, so these leaves are going to be in the way. So no, I don't like. No, it doesn't look right. I think if you do that and cross your arms, and I'm going to pretend. See, there's a twig there as well. I wonder if it will blur out. actually, if I go again, the background is the contrast in the background is not good. Okay, let's stay where you are. I'm going to try and get the tree behind you. Cross your arms again. Better. I reckon I can do something with that. I've totally lost the audience, but I'm here. So yeah, so again, average. Certainly wouldn't be a Yeah, thanks, darling. Certainly wouldn't be a portfolio photo. You know, but it may look better. I'm gonna get it on the screen. We'll see. I'll tell you what I think when I put them up.
I think with Max being framed by the trunk again, it borders him better than if it was high contrast leaves and bushes behind him. But yeah, still not really one that I'd showcase to many people. So that's it. I think we have probably exhausted all the options on our short walk here, but stay tuned for some thoughts at the end.
Right, how far have we got to go before we're back at the car? Because I'm getting hungry. I don't know about you. I'm talking to Max, obviously, not all you guys at home. Oh yeah, look, we're really close to the car.
How far away?
3-minute walk.
3 minutes.
Right.
That might be the last picture we take.
But it might not be.
So it might
We
not
will
be.
see if I find another one. But what Max is going to say now
Oh, thank you.
will be at the end of the video.
Okay. Oh, I thought, okay. What was I going to say? Oh yeah. My dad says for a 10-year-old that £18 is too much for less than 2 hours. What do you think? Comment down in the section below, please. It really just takes a long time to go.
Speaking of not in a hurry, I've got to get that fixed. There we go. Right, guys, we're back at the car. Let's head now back to the office. And we'll go through the photos online.
So here I am back in the office, and my final thoughts are as follows. There was a lot to go through there, so thank you for taking the time to watch, and a massive hats off to you if you're still here at the end. Final thoughts are, there are some in there I really like and others not so much, mainly due to thinking a composition was good in my head when in reality it was executed how I'd imagined it, but something prevented it from being a good shot, whether it be the lighting or the background or just a rubbish setup. Anyway, these next few images are my favourite from the shoot, and again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.